Welcome to the MOShape Minute. My name is Guy Danhoff, and we want to thank you for tuning in to this special broadcast brought to you by Heart Zones, as this is the special edition. We are joined today by our brand new DESE Director of Health and Physical Education, Zach Wheeler. Hey, Zach, how you doing?
Doing great, Guy. Thanks for having me.
All right, so Zach, you come all the way from California. I know you kind of bounce around a few places, so if you could answer this question, there's really two things I think the members of Missouri and MOShape would like to hear. Number one, first and foremost, tell us your passion in regards to our profession, as well as a little bit about your background as to how you went from where you were to where you are today.
You know, my background was heavily rooted in sports growing up. And, I love the team aspect and the camaraderie and the support. And, as I got older and, I realized that I wanted to be involved with kids. I wanted to be involved with organizing both athletic and educational opportunities to, better experiences in schools, whether it be elementary, middle school, high school. And so my passion really builds from, experiences that I had as a kid and things that really helped me get through school and really helped me see the benefit of activity and being a part of a team and really understanding the benefits of those. And it was obviously, as most physical educators will say, it was my favorite topic when I was in school. And so I stuck through it, and here I am today, and fortunate enough to be able to continue to do those things. And I've been a part of some great classrooms and great schools, districts, now with DESE at the state level, and it's more of some really good opportunities to set forward programs that hopefully can better the schools and better our kids' lives, and hopefully we can keep doing our part as best we can. Missouri is, state number 7 for me, I think.
Okay.
I have lived in every single time zone in this country, including Hawaiian. So I've been around, and I think it's been great because I've been able to experience a lot of different school districts, a lot of different styles of education. I've been fortunate to work with some great leaders and great educators that have helped mold me into who I am today. From California to, I spent a lot of time in Boise, Idaho, to here. And so it's been a long journey of education for me. And so I'm glad to be here to continue that. And I've met some great people here so far, including yourself. So I'm looking forward to working together, continuing.
Absolutely, Zach. And, I think one of the questions, I know that I was really interested to hear you talk because I got a chance to, obviously talk to you before this, but most of the people haven't. So this is their first introduction to you. But I think it'd be really cool. What excited you most about the opportunity to work at DESE at our state level? Because as you know, that's a pretty impactful position. And I was wondering, what really got you excited about wanting to move all the way from California to Missouri?
It's any opportunity I get to work with passionate educators is all I can dream. That's my dream. And before I moved here, I've known a few people through Shape America and through some other networks that are local to this area. And the more I get to know about this area, the more it's great to see a state department that is so passionate about physical education. And often in our profession, PE is grouped in with some electives and grouped in with some other things, and it's really great to be a part of a department that puts it at the forefront of their education. And really, especially with COVID going around, and seeing the impact that we can have on mental, physical, emotional well-being, and really letting us come into the limelight of this is important, and what we do is really important. And Missouri, from what I can see with different states and districts that I've worked with, is one of the leaders of this field of really improving our discipline and improving that curriculum and be able to provide those great things that I think all physical educators wish for their departments and their schools. And we are doing that. And to be a part of that is fantastic. And if I can lend any differentiation of experience that I've had with other schools and what's worked, what hasn't worked, and build on the great things that are already happening here, it's an awesome opportunity, and I'm excited to see how far we can take it.
Absolutely, and thank you for sharing that. As you know, you came into a situation where you had some very big shoes to fill with Sean Nevels, and Sean has just been so taken in by our state, and you know that. But here's the truth, guys, in case you don't know, Zach has actually bigger shoes than Sean. He wears a size 15. And hey, Zach, it's okay. It's okay because I wear a size 16. So you know what? It's all good. And I had to do that because I'm always zag bombing someone on any type of broadcast that I do. I think you've seen that now. So anyways, but with the big shoes to fill, what I was really, really referring to is really the opportunity. And I'm just curious, before you came here, because, COVID basically started the stay-at-home order, kind of kicked into effect in March. And I was wondering, what did you know about, say, like Missouri Healthy Schools or DESE and or even MOShape, back when COVID started? Like, were we even on your radar at all? Or what did you know about our state?
The radar that I have for the COVID resources is pretty extensive, and before this, working for a district and overseeing PE and athletics and really looking for resources that, give us ideas. And, as educators, we always like to have those great ideas, but also as educators, we understand that there are a lot of us out there and
Yep.
there's a lot of great resources, there's a lot of great networks of people, and, MOShape and Healthy Schools and Laura Beckman, they're great resources to have. And I am a thorough reader of Shape America, as all physical educators should be. And I did run across some Missouri stuff before I came out here and kind of seeing what other states are doing, what other parts of the country are doing. Are we ahead of the curve? Are we behind the curve? Are we even close to being ready? And, so I was aware of some of the MOShape and some of the Shape America stuff in this region of kind of what they're doing. And it's pretty ahead of the game compared to where a lot of states and districts are, which is great to be a part of. And they were definitely a good resource for myself and a lot of educators out there.
Yeah, well, obviously, thank you for sharing that, because as you also know, last year we led all 50 states in Health Moves Minds, as we're looking to do that again this year, as we just had our town hall last Wednesday, featuring Michelle Carter of, Shape America,
Yep.
as well as our own SEAL Team 6 that you've now been a part of and been introduced to. Christy and that whole team are just amazing. It's such an amazing group for our state. So with that, I was just wondering maybe if you could share with us, now that you're starting to get your bearings, you've been here a few weeks, you're starting to sit in a lot of meetings. I know I've been, I think, in 5 or 6 meetings with you just in the past 4 days, it seems.
Yep.
What's kind of your vision now moving forward, or how do you see yourself fitting in to what we're doing, moving forward?
To hit on what you said before, coming in after Sean Neville's is a great opportunity. I've had the chance to speak with Sean multiple times now. Great guy, has lots of great ideas. And, he and I have had a lot of discussions on what his vision was, what my vision has been, where a lot of those similarities are, and kind of taking what they're doing at the Shape, America level and making sure that as states, we connect with some of those dots and really hammer home that same message. And, I'm looking forward to continuing a lot of the COVID adaptations and working with our educators in our districts to help adapt curriculum and help make sure that we are still reaching our students as best as we can from a distance or hybrid learning, and then preparing them for when more and more districts come in there in person. And what does that look like? How is our education going to be different than what it was before? And I think that we're going to see a different animal of physical education when we come back and focus a lot more on, that health moves minds and a lot of those ideals where that's going to be a really impactful thing. And I think that we have been at the forefront and under the scope of radar of education for a little while now, because what we do is really important in the aspect of health and our students. And I'm looking forward to continuing that work and seeing if if there is any room to keep improving for COVID resources, which I think there always is room to improve. And then when we get back into schools, where do we go from here, and what's our next step, and where do we take this? So
absolutely. So as we're starting to kind of wind down with the last few questions, I do want to ask this, because you've been exposed to a lot. And again, at this point, it's just like, I want your kind of quick reaction. But what has maybe been 1 or 2 things of some meetings you've been in that has just got you, not just passionate, but I mean, maybe is even upped your game more, as I would say, you're ready, instead of the zig, you're going for the zag now. What are some things you've been exposed to going on in our state that's really going to get you going with the zag?
A lot of it is just being at that forefront of thinking of, there are a lot of states that are reacting and seeing what's happening and what can we do to combat this. And I've been in multiple meetings the past couple of days where we're beyond that and thinking of what's going to be coming up and how can we act now, and how can we provide professional development and webinars and things for our state to preemptively attack what may be coming and be ready for it before it gets there.
Right.
And so a lot of the thinking that's been going on that I've loved is not being reactory, but really acting and being ahead of the game, which has been phenomenal to see from our educators.
Well, yeah, you know what? And you know this because you've been hearing us say it all the time. We are truly all in this together. And that's something you're seeing in Missouri. And one last thing I want to comment on. What do you think of the dynamic of MOShape and Dr. Tom Lowry? And then you got right next to us, you got Missouri Healthy Schools and all the resource that Laura Beckman does. You'd have to admit that is a very, very cool dynamic that probably a lot of states don't have. But to have both these organizations serve different functions, but yet work so collaboratively, as you know from working with me, so coordinated. What's that been like? You know, seeing that now up close and personal.
We are extremely fortunate. And there are a lot of states that, you know, Shape America has an incredibly large reach and they work with all states. And, you know, we are just fortunate that Tom, first of all, the living legend, you know, Tom is a phenomenal resource for us and is a great leader of their group. And it is great to see us work so closely with them. And too often in education, we get on our own tangents and have our own ideas. And we really get a lot of great things done when we combine our resources with them and we share our people and our panels and our boards and our resources and, you know, use that to provide better for us and better for them. And together, collectively, we can provide a lot of things that some states can't because we work so closely with them I speak with them on a daily basis.
Right.
And, you know, they are us, we are them. We are one large group, even though we are on different roofs, same neighborhood. And, you know, it's great to work with them so closely, and it allows us to provide a lot of things that are going to benefit our schools and our districts.
Absolutely. And thanks for sharing that, Zach. That's pretty cool. So last question. If you haven't seen me do interviews before, this is very common practice, okay? So here it is. Tell us something about yourself that you haven't already told us that most of us probably would never even guess. But tell us something cool about yourself that we would never know.
I am a huge foodie, and it's a hard thing for me because I am known, you know, physical activity and health and thinking about all these ways to live healthier lifestyles. But I love to cook. I love to go out and see new restaurants. I try to eat as healthy as I can when I go out, but sometimes if they're known for something, I have to go for it. And so it's, you know, it's a love-hate relationship with my professional life and my personal life, because on the professional level, I'm all about physical education and activity and health and nutrition. But then, you know, on the weekend, if I want to go try a new spot for dinner or grab a new sandwich for lunch, I just love how creative people are with food and recipes. And sometimes I've been known to, you know, find a big greasy burger and, you know, dig into it. And it's sometimes people always think of me as the health active athlete guy, but you know, I'm a big foodie. I love going out and trying new places. Columbia that I just moved to, lots of cool spots that I've been finding.
Oh yeah.
So it's been fun to see what the area has to offer.
Well, that's cool. I thank you for being so transparent with us. If you don't know her, we're going to introduce you to her, and that's Lisa Farmer. She happens to be, yeah, you know her name very well. Yep. We might have to think about getting you a cameo on her Tasty Tuesday episodes when she kind of gets back in action, you know, getting the relaunch of the new, you know, fall heading into the winter series. But we'll it's good to know that because we can definitely use you on your show. I've actually been on that show like 3 times. I wouldn't call myself a foodie. I just would call myself a food expert in terms of, do I like it or don't I like it? But, you know, I'm just kidding. But Zach, here's the truth. We are so grateful and blessed that you've decided to come to Missouri. I've been able to sit with you in several meetings, and you definitely strike me, and this is the terminology I use with my colleagues, you're a zagger. I mean, you think zag, and I just love the fact that you bring a lot of creativity, innovation, and experience to the table. And it's going to be really cool to see, you know, you just jump into the fold of what we're trying to do with Missouri, because, you know, we've got a lot of great momentum. But to your point earlier, we can still always improve. And that's just our mindset. And that's our goal moving forward. We want to continue to get better, continue to add more value to our state, to our physical educators, our health educators, as well as our administrators, staff, you name it. That's our goal, and you know that. And I just want to say, you know, welcome to the Show Me State officially. And as I want to say, thank you for taking the time to join us. So with that, I'm going to give you the final word. Got any last parting shot?
No, it's, I'm excited to be here, and it's, I love being around education and people that are as passionate as I am about what we do. And I have met nothing short of that by being here, and people that I've learned so much in just a week of all these great people, and looking forward to seeing what we can accomplish and how far we can push it.
All right, sounds like a plan, my man. Always remember, be the Zag, right? I think you've heard that more than one time this week. So with that being said, guys, we want to thank, Zach for joining us. So for Zach Wheeler, I am Guy Danhoff. We want to thank you guys for watching this special edition MOShape Minute. Thank you.